All right, babies, it's that time again. Oh, yeah. We are getting back to work after 10 days off. And it's just over 50 degrees. So there's a little bit of a chill in the air. And we are in Mark 15. And if you know anything about the Gospels, Mark is the shortest book of the Gospels. And so being at chapter 15, you know we are in the end of the book. So there's one more chapter after this. Now, as speaking for the bride of Christ, which I often feel like I am, because there are so many other voices out there that don't sound like they're coming from an intimate relationship with the living Lord. Yeah. I must say, it grieves me to read this chapter about my husband, even though I know that his death is the very center of all history. And I live my life in such a way that I celebrate his death and being raised to new life every day, all day. Reading it is very disturbing for the betrothed to hear of her beloved's extreme torture when he was nothing but loving, kind, the answer to all of humanity's problems, and did everything he could to make sure we had the perfect image of God before he left. So it's just so sobering. It's hard for me to even speak on. So when I say my husband, I'm speaking for the bride of Christ. Ah, Lord, 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 where to begin? Now, if you've been following me at all, and I see I've got some new viewers joining the experience, you know that I frequently return to the passage in the Bible where Paul says in Galatians 2:20, I am crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live. Yet not I live, but Christ lives in me, who loved me and gave himself for me. Yeah, that is the entirety of the gospel experience. Gospel being good news, the good news being when you align yourself with this experience that Jesus gave to us on Calvary, giving his life for all so that we would have complete access to God in all things and in all measures, that is good news, because you have the very power, the very life, the very essence of who Jesus is available to you. Oh yeah, baby. So when people get all up in arms, which I find is really astonishing, that there are Christians who are enthusiastically looking for opportunities to be used by God, knowing of this change in status by now being seated in heavenly places with him and being able to move with him and in him as one in the earth, heaven coming to earth, that people would have a problem with that. Okay, you can have a problem with believing in Jesus, I guess. But if you believe in Jesus, you should not be surprised that people are actively engaged in seeking to be used in the same manner that he was when he was on the earth. Instead, people have this religious notion, and religious I use in a negative sense because it's where this idea comes from, that Jesus did what he did because he was the Son of God. We shouldn't think we can do what he did. Wow. That's a religion I don't want to have anything to do with. Because in case you didn't notice, your negative thinking and your failure to live a righteous life is all completely contingent on your ability to access life through Jesus in you, to put that stuff finally behind you and start living in a way that people will want to know God, because they see his attributes actively employed in your thinking and your behavior. They see the love, the peace, the joy, the power, the anointing, the creativity. They see it all because Christ, who has been raised to his ultimate place in eternity as Lord of Lords, King of Kings, the Lamb slain before the foundation of the world, is reigning supreme now with his bride as one in the earth. So if you don't think we should be doing the same things that Jesus did and does, then you just don't understand Jesus.